heard a sigh as the snowflakes cover my fallen brothers. I will say this last.
The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. This is a nice conclusion to the Hobbit trilogy. I must admit, while this film may have an issue here and there, for the most part, I had enjoyed the story in this one. So, taking place immediately after the events of the previous movie, Bilbo Baggins and Thorin, with his company of dwarves, they take possession of the treasure beneath the Lonely Mountain, while Argo the Defiler makes his move after being the background for most of the previous two films. And from there, it's a movie I really did enjoy. Once again, the characters are great, the acting was well done, and everything else in this film was done really well. Now, this is not the best film out of the trilogy, but I do admit the story is real good, and overall the action scenes were great to look at. You know, most of this film takes place in one location, and that's fine. Most of this film has action. That's cool. There's like no slow build up here. And I must say, as far as the character development, it was done well, but I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. There are some moments in here I was really thinking, you know, while this film may have an issue here and there, for the most part, I was entertained. I did have a good time. And this movie is far from boring. In fact, there's not even one slow moment whatsoever throughout this film. Now, overall, I think this trilogy did do a good job telling a compelling story. Sure, the beginning of the trilogy with the first movie, yeah, it was a little weak in my opinion, but overall, I did enjoy what I saw in the other two films. And this one, well, let's just say that the characters, they're still enjoyable. Bilbo Baggins, he's clearly one of my favorite characters from this trilogy. Like, he's real sincere. He has a moment with Thorin. And, you know, it's real nice. He's a character that I'm glad had gotten a backstory, because I always wanted to know what his character was like decades ago. Then, you know, the Hobbit films happened. And speaking of Thorin, well, let's just say that he's a little bit more selfish here. And he feels kind of a antagonist somewhat, considering how he's not willing to help the people. And, you know, it's his pride, ego getting in the way of that. And speaking of other characters, Gandalf the Grey, it was interesting seeing him take on the Necromancer. You know, there was a little subplot there that I thought was enjoyable. And then seeing all these five armies come together to fight each other for this huge amount of gold. It was like, it's the battle of real estate, but, you know, it's medieval times. And, you know, it was interesting to look at, even though some of the battle looks CGI. I will say that at least Argo the Defiler, he gets more time to shine in this film. Even though his character development wasn't that great, he's really like the big bad of this movie. It's basically like, I would like some more information on that character. One of the issues I had with this film was the forced romance between Evangeline's character and one of the dwarves. I really wasn't feeling it. Sure, there are some emotional moments in this movie. Some work well, some others not so much. But overall, I think this was a good conclusion to this Hobbit trilogy. We learn all these characters' fates. That really ties in with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I must say that for a Lord of the Rings fan, you know, for fans out there, what I'm trying to say, they can spend easily, 24 hours watching both trilogies, you know, and have a good time. Sure, there are some low moments in this film in terms of characters showing up and, you know, not really having anything to do with the overall plot. But overall, I think this was a film that I not only enjoyed, but quite frankly was glad wasn't weak or terrible, because there are a lot of trilogies out there that have a horrible third film, and I'm just glad that this wasn't it. Nonetheless, though, when it comes down to it, this was a good conclusion to this Middle-earth saga, and quite frankly, this was a film that, while it has issues here and there, overall I had a great time watching it. I don't give this film an 8 out of 10. Sure, this trilogy had its highs, it has lows, and I wouldn't put this one over the Lords of the Rings films, because honestly, the story in those movies are better, they're more compelling, but that doesn't mean I didn't like these films. These movies were still a joy to watch, in my opinion. At the end of the day, though, this film did its job as what it was supposed to do. It wrapped up all loose ends of this trilogy, and I was pretty satisfied with the overall story. And that is my review of The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section. and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying, peace out.
Two paths that lead home, and oh, where the road then takes me, I cannot tell. We came all this way, but now comes the day to bid you farewell.